What's going on? Born for sports, and it's a good time to be a Knicks fan. Just eliminated the Philadelphia 76ers. It's a nice time. The city is buzzing. Man, listen, man. It's a beautiful time to be a Knicks fan. But the job is not done. Not done at all. Those Knicks, you know what I mean? Those Knicks, we got to go and face an Indiana Pacers team that can give some matchup problems, and they're a fast-paced team. They like to play up-tempo. They're a Jekyll and Hyde team. You know, they are a team that is capable of dropping 130 points any given night. But also, when they're cold, they're cold. And, you know, I just look at the Knicks and this Pacers series as an interesting series. Rebirth of a rivalry, a playoff rivalry. As old school Knicks fans like myself, we remember all those all-time battles with Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, the Davis brothers. Mark Jackson was even on that team. Detlef, man, Haywood Workman of all people. You know, it was definitely a rival, man, back in that time. And Reggie Miller, old friend Reggie Miller, he's had his fair share of moments against us. But what I hate as an old school Knicks fan that I am is how no one talks about how the Knicks basically did more good against Reggie Miller and the Pacers in the playoffs matchups than they didn't. I mean, the way the contingent of LOL Knicks out there, the perception is Reggie Miller basically owned the Knicks, and that's BS. I'm here to tell y'all that. The Knicks actually beat Reggie Miller more times than they lost in the playoffs, but that's a story for another day. I go back to remembering when we lost to these guys in the playoffs in 2012, the last really, really good season in a long time the Knicks had, with Carmelo, with Jason Kidd at point guard, with, you know, Felton and Tyson Chandler and Stat and all these guys, and it took that Roy Hibbert block in Game 6 in Indiana that cost us a chance to force a Game 7, which I believe we would have won, but that's a story for another day. Of course, we haven't heard from Roy Hibbert anything after that. But, you know, let's just focus on this. We have a chance to exercise those demons from 2012 and also, you know, rekindle this rivalry. Now, I look at the matchups here. You got Halliburton, one of the best point guards in basketball. No doubt about it. You know, he's one of the best point guards, best players at his position. He's going to be a matchup that we're going to have to account for. He gets all his team involved. You know, bit of an inconsistent shooter with that. I can't stand that damn form of his, but it's successful for him, and he's an all-star player. You know, Knicks are going to have their hands full with him, as a lot of teams have. Now, he had a hamstring injury early in the season, so since coming back early in the season, he's had his up and downs this year. So, you know, he's one of those players that's capable of a triple-double anytime. And, you know, Knicks are going to have to account for him. They're going to have to really, and I'm sure there's a game plan that Tibbs has to stop him. You got Miles Turner, who's a stretch 5, and seems to always have one of his best games against the Knicks, man. He's a guy that has those games where he's just hitting everything from out there. And speaking of that matchup, I really feel like, you know, Mitchell Robinson, he does not have too many good moments against this guy when he's on. You know, and when he's on, he can hurt you, man. He can hurt you. The stretch 5 hits threes. And Mitch's strength, he's a really good defensive player. We all know that. But his strength really isn't guarding out there. So I would assume that we will not have a 7-man rotation this series in this round. That Tibbs will have an 8-man rotation. Now, the 7-man rotation in the last round was more due to the injury situation when we lost Bogey in the playoffs for the rest of the playoffs. But I think this is a series that Precious can shine. He can definitely guard out there and guard stretch 5s and 4s. And I think this is a matchup that we really have to use Precious and go to that matchup. Miles Turner's a guy, if he gets hot, he can hurt you. No doubt about it. So the Knicks are going to have to account for it. But my matchup to watch is, to the key to this series, is Siakam against OG. Two players that know each other, teammates in Toronto. I really feel like OG can stop him. We all know Siakam, he's a good player, he's an all-star forward. And when he gets going, he's tough to stop. He even had a 50-point game at the Garden, I believe, last year or the year before that. He's one of those guys that can really hurt you, and we're going to have to go to that. And I think OG is going to be up for the task, and I think he will have more success than failures against that guy. So all in all, I think the Knicks are in good position here. They got to play it again. This series ain't going to be easy. If Randall was healthy and Bogut was healthy, I picked the Knicks in 5, to be honest, because I believe that this is a finesse team, the Pacers are. They're not a physical team, and the Knicks' strengths really hurt their weaknesses. Rebounding, toughness, defense. I really think that this is going to be a series where the Knicks have to slow the pace down. They got to slow it down, not get into a trap meet with them. That's not our game. Slow it down, play our game, hit tough shots. Jalen Brunson do what he does, dominate, control the game with his decisions, and I think we will be in good shape. I really do. I think this is a good matchup for the Knicks. We got to win the rebounding edge, which is always key for our team, and I think that if we do that, we should be in good shape, and we will reach the Eastern Conference Finals. So my prediction is going to be Knicks in 6. I go 5 if Randall and Bogut were healthy, but it's not that way. So I believe that Precious will have an impact in this series. Matchup to watch, Siakam versus OG. Let's go Knicks. I can't wait for Monday. Let's get it, baby. Like and subscribe to Born for Sports. Let's go Knicks, baby.